history, rivalries have shaped nations, destroyed empires, and sparked legendary battles. From bitter political feuds to clashes between the world's greatest minds, these conflicts have left a lasting mark on the course of human history. Today, we're counting down the top 8 greatest rivalries in history. Starting off at number 8, imagine two brilliant minds, each determined to change the world, but in completely different ways. Nikola Tesla, the visionary with dreams of wireless energy, and Thomas Edison, the businessman determined to light up every home with his direct current electricity. Their rivalry? It wasn't just about fame. It was a battle over the future of electricity. Edison believed in direct current, or DC. It was safer, but expensive and impractical for long distances. Tesla, on the other hand, championed alternating current, or AC, which could travel further and power entire cities. Their feud sparked what's known as the War of Currents, with both men trying to prove their system was the best. While Edison's DC initially powered the early light bulbs, it was Tesla's AC that ultimately lit up the world. Their rivalry wasn't just scientific, it was personal, and it forever shaped the way we use electricity today. Who do you think was the true genius, Tesla or Edison? Next up, at number 7, it's the 16th century, a battle not fought on the battlefield, but through politics, betrayal, and power. Elizabeth Thirst of England, the brilliant and cautious ruler, faced a deadly rival, Mary, Queen of Scots, her own cousin. Mary had a stronger claim to England's throne, and that made her dangerous. While Elizabeth fought to maintain her power, Mary schemed to take it. Their rivalry wasn't just personal, it was a clash of faiths. Mary, a Catholic, was seen as the hope of those wanting to overthrow Protestant Elizabeth. For nearly 2 decades, Mary plotted against Elizabeth, but her moves backfired. In 1586, letters revealed a plot to assassinate Elizabeth and put Mary on the throne. Elizabeth had no choice but to sign her cousin's death warrant. In 1587, Mary was executed. Their feud reshaped European politics and left a mark on history, a Game of Thrones like no other. Who was the true queen? History remembers Elizabeth, but Mary's shadow lingers. Up next, at number 6, it was a clash of giants. Alexander Hamilton, the brilliant founding father, and Aaron Burr, the ambitious politician. Two men who started as allies but ended as bitter enemies. Their rivalry shaped America in ways no one could have imagined. Hamilton, known for his fiery opinions and vision for a strong federal government, saw Burr as nothing more than an opportunist, a man without principle. Burr, tired of being in Hamilton's shadow, believed Hamilton was standing in the way of his own rise to power. Their feud reached its boiling point on July 11, 1804, when Burr challenged Hamilton to a duel, an act that was both shocking and illegal. On the cliffs of Weehawken, New Jersey, Hamilton fired into the air, but Burr took deadly aim. Hamilton was killed, and Burr's reputation was shattered forever. This wasn't just a personal fight. It was a defining moment in early American history, proving that rivalries can shape nations and destroy lives. Up next, at number 5, in the early 19th century, two titans of military history faced off in one of the greatest rivalries ever, Napoleon Bonaparte versus Arthur Wellesley, the Duke of Wellington. Napoleon, the brilliant French emperor, had reshaped Europe with his campaigns, but Wellington, a calm and strategic British general, was rising to meet him. Their rivalry climaxed at the Battle of Waterloo in 1815. Napoleon was a master of bold, fast-moving tactics, while Wellington excelled in defense, waiting for the right moment to strike. Their final encounter was like a high-stakes chess game, with Europe hanging in the balance. In the end, Wellington's patience and coordination with Prussian forces led to Napoleon's defeat and exile. But their rivalry wasn't just about two men. It was a clash of empires, ideologies, and military genius. A battle that shaped the future of Europe and left their names forever linked in history. Halfway there, at number 4, Thomas Jefferson and John Adams, two of America's founding fathers, once united against British rule, but their friendship quickly turned into one of the greatest rivalries in history. Adams, a staunch Federalist, believed in a strong central government. Jefferson, a Democratic Republican, feared this would strip away individual freedoms. Their ideological battles reached a peak in the bitter 1800 presidential election, where Jefferson defeated Adams, marking the first peaceful transfer of power between opposing parties in U.S. history. For years, their rivalry was deeply personal, filled with fiery letters and public attacks. Yet, after years of silence, something surprising happened. In their twilight years, the two men reconnected, exchanging hundreds of letters, rekindling their friendship. The twist? Both died on the exact same day, July 4th, 1926, 50 years to the day after the Declaration of Independence was signed. Rivals in life, linked forever in death. Next up at number 3, Caesar versus Pompey. Once allies, they ruled Rome together as part of the first triumvirate. But ambition knows no bounds, and soon these two powerful men became enemies. Caesar, the bold general, was loved by his soldiers and the people. Pompey, the brilliant tactician, had the support of the Roman Senate. The clash was inevitable. In 49 BCE, Caesar crossed the Rubicon, an act of war against Rome. Pompey fled, gathering forces to defend the Republic. Their fateful showdown came at the Battle of Pharsalus in 48 BCE. Against all odds, odds, Caesar's smaller army crushed Pompey's legions. Pompey fled to Egypt, seeking refuge, but betrayal awaited him. His death marked the end of the rivalry, leaving Caesar the undisputed ruler of Rome. This epic conflict wasn't just a battle for power, it was the beginning of the end for the Roman Republic, setting the stage for the rise of the Roman Empire. Next up, at number 2, one of the greatest rivalries in history wasn't on the battlefield, but within the Soviet Union. After Lenin's death, two powerful figures rose to vie for control: Joseph Stalin and Leon Trotsky. Trotsky was a brilliant intellectual, the architect of the Red Army, and Lenin's favored successor. Stalin, on the other hand, was the shrewd, quiet organizer, lurking in the shadows. While Trotsky dreamt of global revolution, Stalin had other plans: consolidate power at home. What followed was a brutal power struggle. Stalin's political maneuvers and behind-the-scenes deals outmatched Trotsky's idealism. As Stalin gained control, Trotsky was exiled, then relentless pursued. The final blow came in 1940, when Stalin's agents assassinated Trotsky in Mexico. Stalin's triumph was complete, but the rivalry left a mark on history. It was a clash of visions, one that shaped the fate of the Soviet Union and altered the course of the 20th century. At last but not least, in the 13th century, a fierce rivalry unfolded between two legendary figures: Genghis Khan, the ruthless conqueror of the Mongol Empire, and Jalal ad-Din, the valiant Shah of Khwarezmia. Genghis Khan, driven by ambition, sought to expand his empire. His eyes fell on the wealth of Khwarezmia, but Shah Jalal ad-Din stood in his way, a determined leader unwilling to submit. In 1219, Genghis launched an invasion, but instead of surrendering, Jalal ad-Din fought back fiercely, even managing to defeat a Mongol force at the Battle of the Indus River. This clash of titans wasn't just a fight for land, it was a struggle of ideals: Genghis's brutal conquest versus Jalal ad-Din's fight for freedom. In the end, Genghis Khan's relentless pursuit prevailed, but Jalal ad-Din's courage carved his name into history. Their rivalry stands as one of the greatest, echoing through time.